I'm trying to work out what's wrong with my Freehub. Every time I start to pedal it doesn't go forward, so there's something going on in there. I'm going to rip the wheel out. I've got it in the second smallest sprocket, which is the way I like it. I'll do the quick release. I'll take the whole skewer right out. Normally you wouldn't do that. There you go, skewer's out. Other end screwed back on so I don't lose it. Alright, now I'm going to see why my freewheel, my Freehub, isn't working very free. Now I've got this spline adapter. I'll try and get it out. It goes in there. I've already loosened off the lock nut using a big spanner and a chain whip. You've got to turn it in the same direction as the freewheel works. So you need to have something, a chain whip, to stop the cluster from turning around. So that's that done. That there. I'll try and leave this on there, doesn't really matter. I'll lift the whole thing off. That's the cassette hub. You can see the splines in there that line up with the splines here. And now I've got to try and work out how to get the Freehub off. I reckon I'm going to take all the bearings out. So I'll do that. I'll take the bearings out and the axle out and see what I see. Lock nut. It's just a spacer. It's a spacer. I try and keep them in order so I know how to put it back together. This is another spacer with a dust cap built in, and this is the cone coming out. There we go, there's the cone. Put that in the pile. Now, you can see in there the bearings. So when I pull this axle out, all those bearings are going to come out everywhere. So before I do that, I'm going to go and get some paper. Alright, so take the axle out carefully. Just push out. It'll just come out because there's nothing on the other side. Just come out carefully. That's all that end complete. Now, they're loose bearings, so I'll just, some of them are in a cage, and not these ones, so I'll just poke them all down there, and some of them have got stuck down the middle, as you'd expect. So that's the Freehub. Now most of them have got a big Allen key bolt down the middle. I can't see it on this one. I might have to, I'll get a rag and clean it up and have a look. But looking at the state of some of these spokes, look at that one there, and a few others over here, look at that. I reckon I'll probably fix the Freehub. I'll pull it apart and see what's going on, but I reckon I'll be re-spoking the wheel. It does have an Allen key in there. I reckon the way to get it off is the same way as the freewheel direction. So we'll see how we go. Oh, there we go. It wasn't so hard. Right, so that's the bolt holds on the holds the Freehub in. The Allen key slots, I suppose you'd call them. Put that over there. Now the Freehub, I think it will just come off. Have a closer look. There we go, it just lifts off. There we go. Now, this is not what I thought I would see. Anyway, so obviously those flanges, that ribbed flange thing, spline, sits over the hub. I'm pretty sure I've seen these on the internet for sale, so I can probably just buy a new one. I've had a bit of a look at it. I don't think it's serviceable, this thing. I think it's just disposable. So I'll clean it up and have a bit of a search around on Google and see what I can find out. But I might end up buying another one. I've actually cleaned it up and put some caro down in there, and it's actually pretty good now. It's not doing what it was doing before. So I think what happened is the pores inside were getting clogged up with some gunk. Probably because this bike was sitting in the corner for about 10 years. And there's probably some grease or something in there that went hard. Grease and dust and whatnot. Probably went hard, and then the poles weren't sticking out into the ratchet things. So I might just put it back on and see how it goes. Alright, so that sits on there. Beautiful. Okay, put it in there. The on key. Now I'll just pinch it up. It wasn't super tight, so I won't do it back up super tight. Seems alright. Okay, now I just use wheel bearing grease for cars. Put in here. Now there's two reasons I put grease in there, probably the same as everyone else. Because the main one is to make the bearings roll nicely when your wheel's being used, but the other one is to hold the bearings in place while you're putting the wheel back together. It sort of acts like a bit of a glue. Not really a glue, but it's sticky, so it holds it in. I'm putting way too much in. I'll probably get a whole lot of hate mail over this. But, anyway, sometimes more is good, within reason. Turn it around, do the same thing. Plenty of grease. Well, people that don't like it can let me know how bad it is. Probably using the wrong grease too, according to some people. Anyway. If you don't use a fair bit of grease, the bearings don't stay in there. If bearings fall out while you're trying to put the cones back in or something, it's a pain in the ass. Beep these days. Anyway, axle goes in. I think it goes in this way. You gotta be careful when you poke it through, you don't push some bearings out the other side. So there we go, beautiful. Alright, some of the excess grease coming out, make people a bit happier. Some of it's coming back out again. There we go, that's what it is. The haters want to see it. Castrol HTB grease. There you go. Just finished reading a book, Innovation and Entrepreneurship by Peter Drucker. If you're ever looking for a book to read, I'd recommend Peter Drucker. See what he's got out there. A lot of good stuff. Anyway, back to the video. I thought I'd come out in the light and try and show you this. See the... Is it going to focus? The pitting on the cone. Probably about the best it's going to get for you. See the pitting where the use has sort of worn off the hard chrome surface of the cone. What that means is pretty much means it's stuffed. But I'll put it back in to get it going, and then if it doesn't work, I'll probably buy a new hub. Might better buy a new cone axle set, I don't know. Anyway, I'll Google around and have a look, see what's out there, and make up my mind, depending how the Freehub goes. But that's it'll still work. It'll just be a bit raspy, that's all. Alright, screw the cone on. There's plenty of grease in there, so no need to put grease on the cone. Spins alright. Now I didn't change this end, so that spacing there is important. That spacing has got to be just enough so that this part of the axle doesn't stick out past the frame. So I think it's about right. I can't remember the measurement, 6mm or something like that. Anyway, so next thing on was this dust cap thing, which is actually a... Oh no, hang on, I don't need to put that on, it's just this spacer I can go on after. There's that spacer, then this spacer. I'm going to go on over there, yeah, I'll go on over there. And then the locking nut, oops, wrong way around, goes that way. Okay, so that's sort of assembled. A bit on the tight side, but that's alright. I'm going to hold the bottom one. Oh yeah, pinch the top one up. Because my cone spanner's in the wrong bloody size. Use the big spanner. That's pinched up by winding the bottom one up a bit, so it probably loosened off a bit. Let's see, it still feels alright. Feels good actually. So that's that. That's good. Now put the dust cap back on. All clean enough. I'll just show you what I was talking about. See that little distance in there? I'll get a screwdriver, hang on. This is what I was talking about. The distance from the frame to the end of the axle needs to be, well, it needs to be less than nothing. So a millimetre is good. Half a millimetre would probably work too. But that's just right, about a millimetre. I'll check the other side. The other side is perfect as well. So you've got to get the right length axle to suit your frame, and then make sure that the lock nuts and the cones, or the cones, are in the right spot on the axle. Because if you've got this end of the axle sticking out a millimetre, the quick release won't clamp up on it, and it'll mean that this end is only just sticking out, so it's only just going to be hitting the frame, so it's just not going to work. I was washing my hands, and guess what I saw? Buried in the garden, that, Steve Haynes will be very impressed, is XB heater core. Just covered up again, there you go. all gone, never be seen again. Alright, here we are again. I'm going to put the cluster on. Now, one thing with these, here it is here, one of the slots is bigger than all the others, and there it is there. I don't know if you can see that. And that lines up with the corresponding one on the cluster. It's up there. It's a bit hard to see, but I'll line it up. It should sort of go on. There we go. It's not hard, but if you don't know about it, it will drive you mad. Little spacer goes on there. Little cog goes on there. It's got a... There we go. And then the lock ring goes on. It's a bit fiddly to get this thing on. Sometimes you've got to put the spline tool in there. There we go. Beautiful. I'll spin it, make sure it's sort of sitting square. Pretty good. Now, you don't need to do these things up too tight, but you do have to pinch them up a little bit. So, about like that. There's probably a torque setting for that, but we get a bit more hate mail over that too. Anyway, alright, put this on, second smallest. I use the second smallest because the smallest one seems to be close to the frame. Well, it is close to the frame. Second smallest makes life easier. Skewer goes through. Don't forget the brakes. There we go. It feels better anyway. It sort of works sometimes anyway, so we'll see how it goes.